All right, we're live. Gonna get some writing in today, hopefully. That is the goal. So we're gonna see what happens. Try to figure out where I am in this book. That's always exciting. Ugh. Always exciting. And it sounds like my French bread pizza is done, but bonus today. My wife is home. Now hopefully the new dog doesn't eat my food. That would not be good. No, it would not be good at all. There's Keith. Have you recovered from the signing? Yeah, sufficiently. Says, I'm here. I'm awake. What I missed? You missed so much in the last minute and a half that I've been on. So many crazy things have happened. I mean, I can't even explain all of them in the next 36 and a half minutes. That's how much you've missed. I'm about to get French bread pizza my wife is bringing in because I, of course, did not time that as usual.
You have enough to drink?
Yeah, I'll make coffee in a little bit.
Okay.
French bread pizza, not French press pizza. French bread pizza. I would imagine this is going to be super crazy hot.
Yes.
Huss is on nuts. I'll just leave them. Stay in. You'll catch up. Yeah, that was so. Everybody who watched my video about the book signing, the ups and downs I had on Saturday, and I'm like, you know what? That's it. That really what that was the wake up call for me to go. I don't need to do book signings anymore. I mean, I probably do, but why? Why kill myself? Get all worked up and have things go wrong and just sit there and stare into space for hours and too much time to just sit and think. So I'm like, you know what? No more. Can't believe you forgot you had books in your car. I know. I'm so mad at that. Thanks for bringing that up, Haas. I was literally like halfway home. It wasn't like, I'm a couple blocks, I'll turn around. Like, it didn't even dawn on me. They were like, oh, you're crap. They were so freaking excited to meet a celebrity, to meet an actual writer who writes for a living, and they were naming all these different thriller authors that they loved. I mean, all the big ones. The one lady's like, oh my God, I picked up my first Alex Cross book, when that came out, and I've been hooked ever since, however long that's been, 20, 30 years, whatever it's, that since James Patterson started putting it, they read all the James Patterson books, they go on and on and on. And then I was like, oh, I was almost like, I should go back, but I got this French silk pie in the car. It's getting a little warm. I don't want that to start to melt. So I'm like, I should have went back. I'm also this morning. I was like, you know what? At some point, if I have to go to my mom's again, I'm going to have a couple of the books in the car, just in case. And you know what? I'm just going to stop in on the way down to see my mom. My mom, Keith, who lives in Ormond Beach, right near the Wampus Cat attack. It was funny reading your short story, and I'm like, oh, Ormond Beach. All right, I know Ormond Beach. My parents' house is there for 20-something years. Been there a ton of times. That was interesting. He says they've never benefited me outside of a few contexts such as yourself. Yeah, I mean, there was a point where I was selling I was selling 30, 40, 50 books and meeting a ton of people, and those book sales were leading to other book sales because of such a big backlist. So I had people that were buying a lot of stuff from me after the fact, handing out business cards and bookmarks and all that. I knew I was going to get sales from it, but I gave out a lot of business cards and a lot of bookmarks. But who knows if those will ever lead to sales? Most of the like, there's 30 authors, and I would say 25 of them were children's authors. Haas says, by the way, I bought your series Dying Days, got 4 chapters in so far. Well, thank you. I appreciate you doing that. Did you buy like an individual book or did you buy the box set? Oh, Dixie Highway, baby. Yep. Yeah, I go down to go see my mom, Old Dixie Highway, take the back way in through the loop. Chad Lusky, afternoon. I'm just here for the Caesar jokes. Yeah, that guy was annoying. Man, he just kept on and on and on. He kept saying, "Hi, I'm Caesar," and I mean, I had to say, "Oh, hail Caesar." One of the ladies laughed. She thought that was funny. He did not think it was funny, and I don't care. Bought the box set on Kindle. Awesome, thank you. I've actually been selling at least one of those a day now. A couple times was 2 a day. Might have been when you bought the second one, which is good. My daughter, we're sitting there at the thing, and we were going through. I was going through Facebook, and a picture of Chad Lutsky came up, and my daughter said, "You know one of the guys from ZZ Top?" I said, "That's Chad Lutsky." I'm just waiting for this French bread pizza to cool down a little bit so I can take a bite. And the worst thing in the world is taking a bite out of super hot pizza and it burning the roof of your mouth, and then all the skin starts peeling. Ugh. That is brutal. Mm. Haas says, bought your book Neon Owl on Kindle. I'll roast it in a review as soon as I read it. I read and reviewed your book, Keith. It was not on BookBub. I could not find it on BookBub, and I'm not filling out all that giant form on it. But if it ever goes on BookBub, let me know. But I did Goodreads and Amazon review, and I picked up I immediately picked up the second one. So I will be reading the second one as well. I just got to do another. I got to read another. I got to read a print book first. Hi, I'm Frankfoot. So the Goodreads, thank you. You're welcome. It's awesome. I feel like each one's gone better. Let's hope so. You know what I'm saying? Let's hope. Oh. I've been trying to eat this French bread pizza without burning my mouth. And my mouth is burned. What is stuck? Oh. Oh, my wife went into the drawer. The drawer. To get batteries, apparently. And she didn't close it right. Everything's all jammed together. Ugh. There's Lorraine. Is it somebody's birthday? Oh, dear. Hello, Newman. That sounds about right. That's right. Happy birthday, Lorraine. Is that your real name? Yeah. Good times. All good times. Oh, gosh. Look, I used to be, you look like Ricky Schroeder. Then you look like Axel. Then you look like Cobain. First, I've heard the ZZ, and now I just feel old. Thanks. Yeah, that's coming from a 25-year-old. Actually, yes, I always assume that's my name. I'm going to tell you, though, I'm going to be honest with you, Lorraine. If your life was a Harlan Coben book, that definitely is not your name. You were secretly adopted as a child by another set of parents. And now you have to figure out who your real parents are because obviously they were murderers or something. Switched at birth kind of thing. That's literally every Harlan Coben book. Hope you have a wonderful birthday, Lorraine. Appreciate the happy birthdays, fellas. And tomorrow's a book release. All kinds of things happening. Come on. I can't open this bottle. All right, got it. I got it. Stop yelling. Is that Red Baron pizza? I don't remember. Delicious French bread pizza. I believe it is Red Baron. Shelly says it is. Shelly was the backup. Can you, if you come this way, can you get me a napkin? Yeah, I said napkin. Not Stouffer's, Keith. Red Baron. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
At least you don't look like Cartwright, Chad. Your debut is out today. Well, let's go over to the Amazon. Or as us young kids say, let's go over to the Zon. Amazon released everything earlier than I expected, so happy birthday to me. Oh, nice. That which is true cannot be. Is it in my beard? Me and Amanda Ward she came over yesterday. We got some writing in. Then we went to the Japanese buffet, and as we are sitting there, the lady came over. The Waitress came over and she asked if you wanted any more drink. And she went, "Oh no." And then she started wiping because I had crumbs in here. She wiped it out for me. I said, well, thank you. That was a little weird. All right, so add to cart, carte blanche. Proceed to the checkout. A secure checkout. I might. All right. I don't want it. I don't like want it. I don't need it 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's a little bit much. I'm gonna do them both. I'll do them both for Thursday. I mean, it's free either way, but ooh, I'll apply my points. Okay. Can I just place an order? Thank you. Also hit the follow button on Amazon. Amazon. And now I will download the KU version and get rid of something. We have too many books here. All right. We're all good. So I've downloaded a copy and I've ordered a print copy. So we're all good. Going now, Lorraine. Wipe it in your beard. Try to line it right up. I'm new to this, but it's out now. Well, that's good though, because sometimes they take forever, especially on a new one. Hello, Shelly Wargasm Napkin Bringer Rosamilia. I'll let her know when she gets back. She got a work phone call. What's the title of your book release, Armand? That's not the box set, is it? It is actually not. I don't think I'm going to have it released tomorrow because the guy doing the box set, it's just Dirty Deeds 1 to 4 box set. But the guy I'm using for Fiverr, I have having him do all three, and he's not sent me the copy yet, which is annoying. I'm like, dude, I paid for you for this. I okayed it, and where the heck is my copy? And he's not. He hasn't finished the third one yet. So I'm getting a little annoyed with him. I might find somebody else to do these. I mean, he takes a day or two, and he's really good. But I finished the first one, and I put in an order for the second one, and he sent me the thing, but it has Fiverr all over it, and I'm like, all right, I need the one so I can use. And he's like, all right, I'll send it in a little bit, and then he didn't, and I forgot about it like an idiot. When he sent me the second one like that, I automatically did the third, and now he hasn't finished the third. It's been like 2-3 days, so I don't know what's going on. If he sends it to me today, I'll put it together tonight. But Orgasm fans are notorious napkin bringers. I'm going to stop digging through your books, guys. Just guys looking for my next read. You all will just have to tell me what you want me to read. Keith, you know what I found. What did you find, Lorraine? Moors. Keith says, stay away from that. Too late, sir. Keith says, I'm embarrassed now. I didn't buy it, but I read part of the Look Inside feature on Amazon. Don't worry, I'm laughing over here. John Sterling is dead. I never liked that guy as a Red Sox fan. He was just annoying with all of his stupid catchphrases and all of his Yankees win, Yankees win. Shut up, old man. And Susan Waldman, she's like a clay face. Man, I couldn't stand her either. She was the reason I started hitting the mute button on the TV. Those two idiots talking. Glad when he retired. Glad you don't have to hear him anymore. Right, but I have to say that the scenes I worried about in my books are now officially G-rated in comparison. That's a good idea, Lorraine. Get the author's recs for exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we're all like, yeah, don't read that. Haas, I just bought your book on Kindle, Lorraine. Well, definitely not Positive Friday. No. It's non-positive Monday. So I just because I followed you on Amazon now, Lorraine. I don't know why I wasn't before. And then it says popular titles by Lorraine Mazel, and the first one that pops up is "You Are Special." But I don't know why when I read it real quick, I thought you aren't special. I'm like, well, that's kind of negative. I'm like, oh no, it is you are special. Okay. I was like, wow, way to tell me I'm not special. Okay, so I thought I'd collect all my high sex stories in one place. That thing is old, 2011, I believe. Frank says, I never cared for him to, in love with the sound of his own voice, to call a ball game properly. Yeah. I mean, at some point, you just, burn, baby, burn. And he had all this stupid things he would coin for everybody's stupid name. And I'm like, enough. Just call it, it was a home run. Just shut up. I would imagine on the desk in front of him every game, he had a list of all the players' names and all of his cool nicknames he would give them. Like, just shut up. Chad, man, you're trying to get this. You've asked Frank this question like 10 times, and he's ignored you every single time. Where he says, even if I applied more heat to what I'm planning for book 4, it would still be PG-13 in comparison. I just don't think he reads most of the chat. I don't either. I think he's just in his own. Frank's in his own world. Just let me just basically. I'll just look when I look. All right, says my oldest son is one of my beta readers. Nice. You are supposed to new edition, yeah. I was like, I didn't realize you were so mean. Oh no, I read that wrong. Yeah, I'm super busy, not really looking at chat. No, just asking if you're still enjoying the book you told us you were reading. If it happens to be Lansdale, no idea. He's asked you about Savage Season. Like you were on were like on for a second last week, and he immediately jumped in and asked you, and then you were gone. He's done it a couple of times. It feels like you're messing with him, to be honest with you. And then I know all weekend Chad basically was crying about it. He was like, I can't believe Frank would do that to me. He's still reading it. Just I didn't ask you were reading it. He asked what you thought of it so far. Chad gives up. Kind of distracted from reading recently, so it's been slow going. Mike Lee, how's the monetized YouTube life treating you? Treat me all right, Michael. Treat me all right. Would I like more? Of course I would like more. Would I like all the money in the world? Yeah. Is that realistic? Yes. I'm getting there. I'm moving it up inch by inch, step by step. I think I'm reading it too slowly to immerse myself in it as much as I'd like to. Has anyone here read The God of the Woods? I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is. I did see they made a new Lord of the Flies movie. My question is why? That's my question. Ooh. I'm already burping this up. I still got one to go. That being said, I think I prefer the horror over the crime. Been there, Frank. I've ruined otherwise great books by reading them too slow. I feel like Lord of the Flies is kind of irrelevant with Yellow Jackets still being on the air. I've never seen Yellow Jackets. I don't really know what that is. I'm gonna guess it's a ripoff of Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Flies, and now everyone's gonna say, "Oh, this movie's just a ripoff of this," even though the other one came out 100 years ago or less. It's Lord of the Flies with girls and flashbacks. It's good. Lord of the Flies plus Lost plus retro nostalgia. Piggy's got the conch. That's what I remember from being in middle school, junior high, or high school. And we had to watch them. We read the book and then we watched the movie. And I liked the book and I liked the movie from what I remember from 40 years ago. And then we walked around saying, Piggy's got the conch. I don't know why. Says I hated that book. Nice. I would have killed to be able to read Lord of the Flies in school. What did I get? The Fountainhead. I had a teacher. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was my 8th grade teacher, 7th grade teacher, and she turned me on to Watership Down, which is probably still my favorite book of all time. Frank says, never read it. Hook is better. The movie Hook? Yeah. Ryan says, I read Lord of the Flies, not Fountainhead. I never read Fountainhead, but I read Lord of the Flies. We also in high school we had to read Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, but our teacher was cool because somebody had said, Iron Maiden wrote a song about it, and then she brought in the VCR, and then we got to watch the live after death video of them playing Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, and she handed out lyric sheets and highlighted any lines that they took from the actual Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. I remember I absolutely hated The Great Gatsby. And then we watched the movie of it, and I was like, this is still, I just don't like this. I don't like this. Frank says, I never read Eraserhead. You never read Eraserhead? Great book. Keith says, we had that special English teacher that wanted to ruin reading for generations to come. Nice. Mike says, it wasn't totally required for me. We had to choose between Lord of the Flies, The Stranger, I think it's called, and I believe the other one was a Charles long-winded piece. I chose Stranger. Chad says they didn't have us read anything cool in high school. It was mostly plays. I never even read a novel until I was in my mid-20s. Siren Head is cool. Basically anything with head at the end, Frank's going to mention. I had to read The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, who was like 17. And so that made me want to become an author. Yeah, we had to read that. We had to read that in school. I like that. I like The Outsiders. And then I like the movie. Stay gold, pony boy. How were the Foo Fighters the other night, Frank? Good? I had a buddy, Barry. Thursday night, 4 a.m., him and two of his friends sat out. They're like my age. They sit out like the old days to get concert tickets. And the tickets were $30. They said you can only get one ticket. And you can't resell it. If you resell it, it can only be for $30. And one of the guys with Barry was like, well, I don't even want to go. I'm going to sell my ticket. So he went on Facebook. And he said, I have a ticket for the Foo Fighters, $300. Who wants it? And Barry said immediately a couple people were like, I'll give you $200 for it. I'll give you $250 for it. And then somebody jumped on and said, I'll give you $300 for it. He said, perfect. He's like, what's the ticket number, though? Because maybe it might be a special number. Because there's other people that are selling them, and I want. So he's like, whatever, ticket 71, whatever it was. And then the guy never came back for a couple hours, and then Barry said his friend got a Facebook message that said an official thing that ticket 71, whatever number it was, ticket 71 is no longer in rotation. It's been taken out, and that ticket will not be able to be used because this is basically the Foo Fighters management, and we've taken it out of circulation and resold it to someone else because you broke the terms of buying that ticket. And Barry's like, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I told him, don't try to resell the ticket. Why are you sitting out for 10 hours in the morning just for that? Mike says, I didn't great for Gatsby. I guess you didn't like it. Or Wuthering Heights. Outsiders was amazing. Yeah, Wuthering Heights was also boring. I didn't have to read that for school. I think I was dating some chick, and she was like, "Oh my god, read this, and then The Count of Monte Cristo. These are great." I'm like, I love a Monte Cristo. They're going to teach you how to make a good Monte Cristo in it, but they didn't. Not one time did they mention making a Monte Cristo in that stupid book. Haas says, I hate all books I was forced to read in high school, which I can definitely get. Frank says, I'm a fan of most heads, as you should be. Right, so I started writing a novel, and a couple of classmates read it as I worked on it, never finished it. Chad says something that was retracted. He says, I had to read Tale of Two Cities, awful. A lot of Shakespeare, awful. To Kill a Mockingbird, awful. And Of Mice and Men. I love Of Mice and Men. I like that. The later is the only one I enjoyed and remember. I did like Of Mice and Men. And then we saw the old black and white movie at that time as well. My schools were very big on let's watch movies and kill some time. Chad says, hey, if I wanted to read The Outsiders, I just go and watch River's Edge. Frank says 2 per person. Barry said it was one per person, and his friend bought one, he bought one, and somebody else bought one. So I don't know. Oh, but I loved The Great Gatsby. I read it twice the second time about 30 years later. I just wasn't a big fan of it. The problem is that we're forced to read books that aren't as relevant to a modern audience, so people end up hating reading. We refuse to update our library of classics. And if it was up to Chad Lutsky, it would just be like all Joe Lansdale books. Frank says they had that on lockdown. Stay Goldar. Frank says it was made crystal clear how tickets worked. Yeah. Found out is right. Dummy. And they said they were going to refund his $30. But Barry had posted this morning and said as of today, he still hasn't gotten his money back. And he probably won't because it's part of the terms of, like, they tell everybody in line this. Maybe they were so far back in the line, they were like, maybe we should just do one. You're only allowed to buy one ticket now. Chad says, I'm done with Sergio. He treats me like a rag doll. Chad says, that's my theory too, Mike. When you're forced to read Romeo and Juliet and All is Quiet on the Western Front when you're 13, nobody in class can relate to being in love or war, so we hate all books. Yeah, I agree with that. Give me something that has something to do with, I don't know, something I'm going through. Something I can relate to. If I wanted to watch The Outsiders, I just watched The Warriors. It's almost the same movie. Both star Patrick Swayze. You said it, Chad. He did. He literally said it. I mean, there's proof that he said it. I gotta call my wife. Shelly, do you want the rest of this? French bread pizza? It's good. I'm just full. How much is it? $14. How much is left? About half of one. Yeah, I'll eat it before I go. Figured you haven't eaten.
Be my lunch.
Here's some lunch for you. See, I'm always thinking of you.
Sure you are.
French silk pizza, French bread pizza, French silk pie, French bread pizza. That's French bread pizza.
Yes, it is.
It's good, right? It's delicious. It's good for you. It's good for your heart health.
What's so good for?
Mike says, agreed, Chad. None of those books made me want to write, but reading Goosebumps and Lord of the Rings did. And Lord of the Rings isn't an easy read. Yet as a kid, I was still up for it. Nothing to do with school. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. I'm reading Watership Down. I'm reading Lord of the Rings. I'm reading Dean Koontz books at 12 years old. And I enjoyed those books. And that made me want to read more. But then Here, read The Great Gatsby. No, thank you. I read Frankenstein in high school. Definitely my favorite. See, I read Frankenstein and Dracula were on the books that we read in high school or junior high, and I didn't enjoy either of them because, like Haas says, when you force me to read a book and I have to read, 10 chapters every night, and then we're going to discuss it the next day in class, I'm like, I don't want to read this garbage. I was never a big fan of Frankenstein or Dracula or any of those anyway. There's Charlie. What's up? Did I miss anything good? You did, Charlie. You missed a lot of good conversation so far about books. We're basically talking about the books we were forced to read in school that we liked or did not like. Haas hated all of them. Lorraine says booty talk, Charlie. Oh, no, she says book talk, Charlie. Frankenstein is my all-time favorite. Why couldn't I read that in high school? Yeah, but you know what? If you had read it in high school, you wouldn't have liked it. I read it in high school, and I didn't like it. Again, I read Dracula in high school. Didn't like it. Key says, I submitted Memoir of a Monster to BookBub and Chad's Avonwood Exodus. I didn't see that one there either. Yeah, BookBub is a pain with not having the stuff in there. When they tell you that it's on, when they both dropped on, let me know, because then I can put my Goodreads Amazon reviews up on there for both books. Charlie says, congrats on your early release, Lorraine. Lorraine, thanks, Charlie. Mike says, forced reading did one thing, made me a better nonfiction reader because I hate read the books to do my book reports on them. My focus was on making the report as negative and entertaining as possible. Chad says, one of my best friends went to a different school here, and they were over there reading Poe and The Hobbit. Yeah. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get some good teachers. Yeah, they understand. They're trying to turn people on to reading. But now I'm sure with all the curriculum and all the other crap that they're forcing down your throat, you probably can't read anything that you're going to like. Mike says, while not being nearly as objective as it should have been, so basically became a modern-day IGN journalist before it was a thing. Chaz says, I only read Hit Parader, Circus, Fangoria, and Famous Monster. I also read Metal Forces and Kick-Axe Magazine. Those are the other two that I would read all the time. And every now and then Cream would have a like Motley Crue in it or something. I would buy a copy of that. Right, says we read lots of Poe. Never read Poe. Obviously never read Lovecraft from school. Cases I was able to read Poe in middle school. Right, says big fan. Tries, I remember liking E.A. Poe even assigned in school, but I don't remember liking anything else at the time. I didn't even read most of it. I just winged it in class. That's not fair, Keith. I paid for it in high school with the classic literature. I remember reading the first page of Chaucer and then threw it away. Chaucer. Rip and Kerrang. Yeah, you got to read Rip and Kerrang. Yeah. Those were other good ones. Yeah, Rip was... I remember going to concerts and the people from Rip would be there, or somebody who worked for Rip would be there, and they would just be giving away like 200 copies of the latest issue. So that's how I got hooked. That was a good move by them. Chaz says, and then when I discovered punk, I'd read MRR, Maximum Rock and Roll. Yeah, Maximum Rock and Roll was also very, very cool. That was one that they did not have in the I used to go to the record store up in Hazlitt. Can't remember what the name of it was. Gary was the owner. And I would say, what else you got, Gary? I'm buying, Rip magazine. I'm buying metal forces. I'm buying Kerrang. I'm buying all this import stuff you're overcharging us for. What else is there? And then he was like, he was the one who turned me on to, can't remember the name of it, but it was basically, it was like a zine, a super thick one about zines. Fact Sheet 5. And he's like, I don't know what this is. And I bought it and I was like, you know what? I love, keep getting me this. And then Maximum Rock and Roll, I need a copy of this. And he would literally order me like one copy every time they came out. And then I would go every couple months and have a stack of those. It's great. Frank says, I hated Dracula. You know what? I'm going to be honest, Frank. Dracula hated you too. Yep. Good old Chaucer. Ches says, yep. Rip and Kerrang too. Frank never read Frankenstein. Metal Edge. Yes, Metal Edge. With Missy Colazzo worked for them for a while. And then she worked for Megaforce Records. What, Frank? Frankenstein is an amazing read. One of my favorites. Read it for a college course. No Frankenstein for Frank, right? It's in the name. E.C. Rocker. Yeah. Yeah, you had to read that every week because then what was it, Aquarian Weekly or something? It became all the I'd go through and I would circle all the concerts I was going to. Ooh, Monday night Fox Hunt's going to be at Murphy's Law, and I would circle it in red on the page, and I would go through like, oh, Kix is going to be in town. I'm going to circle. And I would just circle all the concerts I want to go to. And then you'd look and go, okay, there's 7 concerts on Friday night I could go to. Let me pick one. Yeah, Maximum Rock and Roll is really cheap for the size. Yeah, that just a ton of information. There can only be one, Lorraine. I had to think real hard for a second, Mike, about what LMAO meant. Then stupid moment hit me. Yeah, it became the Aquarian for some reason. Yeah, I think they wanted to expand, or I think they sold it at that point or something. So, but yeah, it became the Aquarian. Like they had a lot of hippie crap in it. I remember, like that was when it was like all the hard rock stuff wasn't as they didn't think was going to be as big, and so they were like, let's kind of switch over. I think older people bought it. So true, Frank. That's okay, Lorraine. We all experience a mental 404 now and then. Will you stop shaking your tail at me? I don't know what you're doing. These cats are a little bit nutty because of this dog is still in the house. We got probably about another week of this dog being here, so I'm a little uneasy. It's a big dog. That dog's only going to get bigger. But we're not keeping the dog. Troy says, I've never been assigned Dracula or Frankenstein. Every time I've read them, it's been for fun, so that might be why I love both. Yeah, there's a definite difference when you're forced to read something. And then I'm like, I don't like this. And I you know why I don't like it? Because you're forcing me to read this thing. And it was also that you're telling me I have to read 5 chapters every night. And I have to do, and then we have to discuss it. That I didn't like. I took a course, I don't know, whatever, literature course in college for the one semester I went to college. We talked about whatever, and he's like, why do you think the curtains are blue in this story? Oh, because of the authors, the blues, and blah, 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 blah. And then I was just like, no, the curtains are blue because the fucking writer said they were blue. Because he just picked a random color. Because you know what? He thought in his mind, I have blue curtains, so I'm going to put my blue curtains into this. I don't know, just stupid. He says, "Hey Armin, what are you supposed to be writing today?" There's the key word there. Supposed. King of the Mountain, my southern gothic noir crime thriller. I realized I'm at 42,000 words, and I'm probably right in the middle of this book. I realize that I'm probably in the middle, so it's gonna be. I don't know. I got a lot more to go, and I wrote a bunch yesterday when Amanda was here. I felt good about what I wrote. I wrote a chapter, and I wrote parts to two other chapters. Just kind of had ideas of the POV point of view that I had of that character. I moved forward a bit. So, but yeah, it's as you can see, it's slow going. Frank says famous last words. Haas says that is probably why I love Dracula and Frankenstein. I wanted to read them. Nobody told me to. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Like we're naming books like that we love, but it's like mostly these are not books that we were forced to read. Right says yes. Arm is stressed that he absolutely has to write today. I am completely. I actually am very stressed about this. But here's the thing: my wife is home today. Now she'll leave in a little bit. She got to take her aunt to the doctor's, and that'll be a couple of hours. And I told you she got to put that dog in the dog cage thing because that thing can't be roaming around. I'll be worried about it attacking my cats. So she'll put the dog there. Alice, she'll just go in the other room and sleep. The cats will find someplace nice, like I don't know. Stop, idiot. And then maybe I'll get some writing in. Who knows? Didn't Mark Twain say that exact same thing? I mean, he probably stole ideas from me. I would imagine. Dang it, Mike! Now I have to look up 404. Just kidding. I think. Let me double check. You know this one, Lorraine. I believe in you. Yeah, you've seen this one on your screen at times. Cat Butler, you do love. Now the cat is in the dog's cage. Actually, Mike, I had to be refreshed on that, even though I see it all the time. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you. That's one of those where you're like, "What is that?" Oh, I know what that means. Hmm. Good times. Yeah, I'm gonna get. I will get some more. And I didn't get a lot last week. Looking at it when I did my the week that was thing on Patreon this morning, I was like, wow, I did not write a lot of words at all. So I need to change that. Where it says Civ. It happens, and to be fair, we usually go out of our way not to see error codes. Exactly. They sell those charms that cover the cat butthole. Good luck putting it on that. Why would you? You got to be. There's got to be something wrong with you if you're going to be doing that. Cat thong. I need to write new words. I've been doing a lot of editing the last couple of weeks. I did a little bit of research stuff this morning for my YouTube. So, and my wife came up with a couple of ideas for videos. Tonight, we'll when she gets home, we'll probably do a series review of Night Agent this last season. So we'll have that up at some point. I pretend I didn't read it exactly. Charlie, you're not adding the project you are writing, are you? Are you? Hmm. Charlie says, nope. That's a definitive no. Uh, I got like 12 spam messages about helping me with my YouTube. He says, "Good boy. You don't edit as you write? No, that's a good way to never finish. Very true." All right, so I'm looking forward to reading your newest short story today, Charlie. If I edit as I write, I never finish writing. Exactly. I tried doing that once and I never moved slower. I had to stop doing that to finish the book. I always finish, then let 4 or 5 months go by before donning the editor hat, try to come at it with fresh eyes. I can't save all the editing for the end, stressing me out too much to come back to a total mess. You wait 4 to 5 months? Months? I try to write a clean version as I go. Yes, Charlie. I'm not in a rush. Yeah, when you don't have a deadline, I get it. You're like, you know what? I'm not putting this out. For me, with a lot of deadlines, but I also write a very clean first draft. But that's 40 something years of writing. Does anyone here own a MacBook Neo? Well, lottie darn. You know what? I'm just that good, Keith. Deal with it. Speaking of total mess, Nick's in the house. Love it. Mike says, I used to wait 4 to 5 months. Now I wait 1 to 2 months, personally, just long enough to distance myself from the story so I can edit it from a critical point of view and not creative. I remember you saying that once, Keith, that you let the book sit for a while. I just can't do that. Mike says, authors used to call it baking.
Alice, no.
If there was a surefire right way, we'd all do it. Exactly. But there isn't. Everybody has their own methodology of doing it. I give it a couple weeks. And usually, if I'm working on other stuff, I feel better. And then I don't rush it. But like Mammoth has been done for a while. And I got like another month until I have to send it to them. So I'm just taking my sweet time. Choices. I don't have a deadline, but I have a lot that I want to write. Depending on what I'm doing with it, I'll give it a couple weeks to a month tops. Exactly, Keith. Everybody does it differently. Nope, I have a shitty Chromebook. Frank says, I love editing a hot mess. I guess this guy isn't going to give me my box set cover today. So I will not have that box set out tomorrow, which is annoying because I did this 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna send him another message now.
You can do it. You can do it. It's not that. There you go. See? I know. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I'm leaving.
All right.
I left the dog in the crate with her treats.
Okay.
Alice has her treats, and I will be back as soon as I can.
All right. Let me know when you're on your way back.
I will. It'll be a few hours.
Yep. All right.
All right. If you have any problems, though, just call me.
Yeah, I'm sure she's gonna cry as soon as you walk out the door, but otherwise, I think we're good.
All right. I'll see you as soon as I can.
All right. Ches, I have a Chromebook as well. It works great, but I've got a music project that I'm having a hard time finishing with my 11-year-old Mac, and I heard the Neo does fine with music production. No idea what any of that means. Lorraine says I have one of those lovely expletives as well, Charlie. Had to break down and get a PC a few months ago. Frank says again, that's your opinion. Armand's opinion. Exactly. And now the dog's gonna whine. Now I use them side by side. So hard to find good help. Haas says I do your book covers, Armand, but they all look like Bill Watson drew them. Harry back, you can't live. You know what? You're right. Ah. Get away from there. Go lay down. Oh my goodness. One of our dogs heard yours through my speaker. Oh really? Well, that's the dog's in the cage and she's whining because Shelly left. This is the temporary dog. But then Alice is fucking with her outside the cage. So they start playing, growling at each other. Now he's glaring at my PC screens. Are you certain that's a dog? I think it's a dog. I believe it's a dog. Mike, where do I find your work? Yes, Michael. If that is your real name. Nope. I got a little couple words in. Mike, where do I find your work? Preferably Amazon, though I need to update the store page of my site. Charlie says, I just remembered, Chad, I watched an interview with you and a YouTuber. I think his name is Jason White last night. It was from several years ago, I think. Keith says, dog's pining to be a permanent residence, methinks. As Michael Lee, Kai. Michael R. Lee is how I'm officially published. Mike Lee is informal. Kai Mike is my username when I'm not advertising myself. Yeah, there's a very good crime thriller author, Mike Lee. A lot of really good short stories. And anytime his name pops up on one of the sites, I always like, let me look and it's not my Mike Lee. Looking at, be right back. Yeah, this dog is not going to be able. This dog is not. It's like half German Shepherd, half something other big. This dog's like 6 months old or something. It's already huge. It's already like 35 pounds. This dog's gonna be like 70 pounds. This dog can be like 112 pounds, 7 foot at the shoulder. And he does not get along with the cats. He's always growling and trying to go after the cats, and that's not going to happen. But hopefully somebody will want a dog. Shelly, I mean, he's potty trained, goes outside. She took him out on the leash today. So he's going to be a good dog. She's a very pretty dog. But I already said to my wife, I'm like, there's no way this dog can stay. She's like, I get it. I 100%. I have an irrational fear about dogs, no matter how big or small. I just don't like being around them. So a lot of times, like, I get up, like this morning, I get up, I come out of the room, and she starts barking at me, and I just freeze. And Shelly's like trying to calm her down, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, my nerves are freaking shot being here for the last week or so. We probably have about another week of this. Chess says, was I a good guest, Charlie? Thanks. And yep, exactly what Armand said. There's also a dark fantasy writer who goes by Mike Lee, so I had to find a way to stand apart. Yeah, unfortunately, you have that common name. You don't have a good last name like Rosamilia or Lutsky. Then I found that there's a children's author named Mike R. Lee as well, but it's too late now. Hopefully they don't combine your stuff with his stuff on Amazon and BookBub and everywhere else, because then it's going to be a pain in the ass. Charlie says, yeah, it was a good interview. I think Jason's had me on 2 or 3 times. Half German Shepherd, half blue whale. I believe it's a narwhal. I believe is the official. You would looking at the dog, you'd think, oh, that's a blue whale. No, it's narwhal. Yeah, if anything is going to growl at the cats around there, exactly. You want to be mean to the cats? That's my job. He says Lisa would want her, but not with our cat if she doesn't get along with them. You know, here's the problem. So this dog, it's a oh, stop that. The dog was found in a ditch with her mom and 9 other siblings and brought to the shelter up in Brunswick, Georgia. And so she's been, since she was a couple weeks old, she's been in the shelter. And it's basically in just a dog area. So she gets along well with dogs. But and all of her siblings have all been adopted, and her mom was adopted. She's the last of the litter, but she's never even seen a cat. So when she when she came here, we got two cats, and she has no idea what the hell. And Mary's just like, whatever, I'm just gonna ignore you. But Maisie's a little asshole, and so she immediately starts hissing and swatting at her. So she's like, it's almost like the dog is defending itself. But at this point now, and it's very skittish because it's not been around a lot of people. So, and it's very attached to my wife, which is a bad thing. So, follows her around all the time. She's a really good dog. I just don't like dogs. So there you go. I would imagine in time, to be honest, she would get along, especially if the cat's not a jerk. Now, if you have a cat that's going to attack her and swipe at her, then yeah, you're going to have a problem. And again, she's still a puppy, so. Trish says, it reminded me of the same deep water as you. I really like that one. It's not irrational. I had a piece of my left hand eviscerated by a Rottweiler, and you know what happens to my finger when I try to break up a dog fight. I've never been attacked by a dog. I've had dogs growl at me and whatnot. I had a dog as a kid. I just don't know. I freeze up, and it's even like a tiny little stupid lap dog thing. I'm just not comfortable. Nick says, "Come to MondoCon and go home with a dog." Right. So we're gonna do the. Everybody's gonna get a mug, and everybody's gonna get a tote and some other random things. And one lucky tote, when you open up, there will be a dog in it. So you better figure out how you're gonna get that dog on the plane. Rain says, "Selena's World. I just bought the ebook and clicked follow. Goodreads combined me and another Michael Lee. Unfortunately, I tried to fix it, but they've been astoundingly unhelpful." Yeah, they really are. Oh, well, thank you, Lori. Keith says, "Oh my God, my co-author Matt Peters shares a name with a gay porn writer. Or, more than likely, he is that same writer. Were they sex worker dogs? I don't believe so, Frank. I could double check. You feel free to ask Shelley. Rance, I'm a little behind in reading everything all these guys have out. Not all. So I might not get to it until June, but I look forward to reading it. And then she'll do a review of it, and hopefully she won't have a mustache in it. Yeah, when your book comes, I can do an unboxing of it. That'll be nice. That'll be on, I think it said Thursday. Thursday, that should be in. No problem at all. I'm just humbled you'd read it, and I hope you enjoy. Keith says, my cat is an asshole. Did you have the cat when you were in Massachusetts? Because then he would be a masshole. Fresh says, you're going to have so many animals when you finally move to that writing compound. I know. I'm going to be in my office with the door closed because there's 4,000 animals running around. Oh, if it was up to my wife, we would have like 15 animals in this house. Because she has to save every cat and every. I'm like, I don't mind the cats. Cats are fine. Cats leave you alone for the most part. But the dogs, yeah. Ray says, what could you poor cat have done to earn that moniker, Keith? I would imagine he's just being a cat. Charlie says, I was a door-to-door vacuum salesman for a bit and got chased several times by dogs. Yeah, like, that's why I could never be a mailman, or a delivery person, or a door-to-door salesman selling vacuums. Although door-to-door vacuum salesman, you probably have a lot of sex with lonely housewives. Or that might be porn. I don't remember. I've never been directly attacked either. It was always an accident or a bad choice on my end. You know what, though? My mom's kind of like that with cats. Just can't be around them. Yeah, my mother does not like cats. We never had cats growing up. My mother hates cats. You crazy? I ain't asking show that. Yeah, I'm not either. Because I ain't crazy. I ain't afraid of no ghost. No, cat found us here in Florida. The cat is spoiled because of my wife. The best begs for food like a dog because of her. Yeah. That's the other one. That's Maisie. Yesterday, she's out of food, so she's whining and whining. I pour food. She eats like almost all the food real quick in her little dish, and then she promptly pukes all over the floor. Stop eating so fast and puking on everything. You think by now you would have figured that one out. So this guy is saying that the watermark goes away once I've paid for them, but I paid for them already. So what are you talking about, Willis? Is it magic? Oh, will you stop whining? You sound like Frank Edler. All right, so my book arrives at my door tomorrow, so I'll do an unboxing short. Very good. Do a full video of the unboxing. Yeah, do a whole video. Don't do a 2-minute video. Do at least an 8-minute video of it. The cat jumps on our kitchen table and drools on Lisa's hand while she tries to eat. No, that's gross. I had a great cat when I was a teenager. She thought she was a dog in all the best ways. Chad, have you asked me anything I've missed? Your dog whining summoned mine again. Now he's whining. Stop, you're making other dogs whine. Chaz, no, I don't think so. I think you're good. So let's see if this is let's see if this actually works now. I didn't realize it was on Fiverr. If that's the case, that I figured everything out, and then the watermark, it did go away. Son of the beeswax. So once I'm done, then they do go away. I wish I had known that, because then I would have put the book together. Joe says, I'm much more of a cat person than a dog person. Fun fact, at one point, I had over 60 snakes now. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? That's too manly a wine to sound like me. That is true. That is a fun fact. I streamed 17.17 minutes at 17 minutes in a row. How was Steel Panther the other night? Pantherus? How's that new guy? I guess he's permanent in the band now. Frank said, I wonder if you go mushroom poop, if he'll be quiet. You know, I didn't get another cup of, I only had one cup of coffee today. Haas says, can you do an unboxing video with a Kindle book, or would that be weird? That might be a little weird. I don't know. Like when I'm doing a review of one, I'll just have the book up and I'll just hold my Kindle Fire, which filthy. I don't know how I can read on this thing. I had to charge it this morning because I read Keith's book, and then it was almost dead. I was like, "Why is the screen suddenly black with white lettering?" Oh, because I forgot to charge. I haven't charged it in months. You can do a downloading video. Nuts! I already downloaded it. I mean, you can do it. They were still Panther. They've got strippers on the payroll now. Oh, so that they're touring with strippers. They're not just finding a bunch of strippers around, Sayreville, for instance. Cheza Charlie, were you one of those snake owners who stuck your snake in a tiny drawer like Henry Rollins and Gary King with their collections? That seems a very specific question. So the dog is quiet now. I guarantee you now, Maisie, the asshole cat, is going to walk right past the cage at some point and mess with her. The goal here from my wife, which I get, which I have on, she shared on Facebook, and then I reshared, is for her to not have to on Saturday or Sunday, not have to bring the dog back to the shelter before somebody is like, I'm interested in the dog. So that's the goal. And then they just got to call the shelter and fill out paperwork or whatever. Yeah, touring strippers now with stripper poles. Nice. Plus the usual local skanks for the younger. I saw your video of it with the girls up there, and there was one I was like, she shouldn't be up there. The one with the red shirt, I'm like, she just doesn't seem like she fits in with the rest of them. Trish, I don't know about them. They are some snakes that do well in small areas, but mostly no. I bred pythons and sold them as pets. And then you release them into the wilds of the Everglades, and now we have a python problem down here. Thanks, Charlie. So your video, Frank. That pole looked like it could tip over. It was moving all over. I didn't know Henry Rollins had snakes, and I don't know who Kerry King is. Oh my God. Kerry King from Slayer. Ches, my son just broke up with his girlfriend recently, but they had an anaconda with its own room instead of a cage. They used the buddy system to feed it. Oh, well, that one was flashing all over the place. I'm sure, because if you're not really all that cute compared to the other whores on the stage. Kerry King is one of the guitarists for Slayer. I don't think Rollins has his snakes anymore. I got an anaconda if you know. Oh, wait, ladies present. Anaconda don't want none. Unless you got buns, hun. Really? That is badass. I never had anything that size, but now I do work with some large Burmese pythons at work. I have an anaconda. It tends to not want some unless you got buns, hun. Okay, I do know Slayer, but couldn't name the members. That's a shame. I need this dog to just go to sleep. Ha says, I killed an 8-foot rattlesnake once, brought it home, and put it in my grandma's freezer because my gramps wanted the skin. We both forgot about it. My grandma nearly died from a heart attack 15 years later when she found it. 15 years later. It seems like it was in there for a while. Francis Lair is Ainsley Adams, Jake LaBolt, Shecky, Boston Miracle, and Kerry King. All great musicians. Lauren says that would have been quite the surprise for my husband looking for a waffle. Well, sometimes he gets a snake waffle. Chess, is it really a shame though when someone doesn't know who Kerry King is? That guy has always bugged me. Him and his sunglasses, an obsession with hating God. You're not 18 anymore, Kerry. I always heard. I've never been in the same room with him, but I have always heard from other people that are friendly with him that he is he is more of a caricature than a real person. And like I remember seeing an interview with him years ago, and he's like, my daughter wanted to go see like some Disney movie or something, and I was going to take him, but then my wife was like, "You're Kerry effing King. You can't be seen in a Disney movie." And he was like, "Oh my God, you're right. What was I thinking? Like I have a street cred to maintain." Blah blah. I'm thinking, you guys haven't been relevant in 10 years. Take your kid to a movie. Snake waffles. My husband is constantly looking for a waffle. Yeah, we know what that means. I'm very lukewarm when it comes to the Slayer songs I've heard. So I says to him, I says, "You're going to turn into Axe Waffle one day, Harry. You are." Innuendos galore, Frank. I don't know if it's technically innuendos if Frank says it, though. I'm getting some words in. Almost finished with this chapter. It says, actually, this might be plain speak for you, Frank. Yeah, it is. Nick says, I say the same thing when imaginary girlfriend asks me to see a rom com in the theater. I've got street cred to maintain, so no can do, baby doll. Yeah. I don't talk around things unless they are around. Let's face it, Slayer was a Ray and Hanneman, while Lombardo did it best. He's still replaceable as his king. Oh, Charlie, we're not even going to say that. Yeah, that's no. Charlie, no. Next page. Next page, Nixon. Even though Frank said it. Next page. I am on the next page, though. You didn't have to say what it was. We all know what you're talking about. Most of us. Kirking has a certain schwa de vivre. Don't make me trip the fire alarm, fellas. I don't know. Kerry King is he like is that guy that believes his own hype. You thought wrong, Charlie. This is Armand's opinion. Not Charlie's opinion, not Charlie's America, not Charlie gets to say anything he wants to say. None of those things. Yeah, where she's free to pull the fire alarm is right. What are you crying about? Stupid dog looking out here now, the cat. Of course, Maisie's got to be like right here in her line of sight. Oh. They are offering me a $150,000 line of credit for Project Entertainment Network. I'm in. Project Entertainment Network that I haven't owned in about 5 years. Everybody ready for the Area 51 files to be disclosed? Come on, Bigfoot. There's nothing there. Why are you in my lap? Why are you up here in my lap? Huh? Calico cat. 99.9% of calico cats are female. Did you know that? And 99.9% of orange cats are male. I was doing research for a book thing, a story yesterday. Frank says, this is not a free country. Here you have to watch the ads. Yeah, 33 seconds of ads. Stop saying 31 seconds. 33. Give me 30. Give me 2 more seconds, Charlie. She's scared of the new dog. Oh, no, she's not. She's just being annoying. Lorraine says, secrets in Area 51 ads. Yes, we're in a weird space here. Frank says, you made that up. Nick says, sure, cat research. I actually did. For some stupid story. Of course, now I can't type. I was flying. Millions of words I was writing today. Now the cat's sitting on me. 33 seconds just to be sure. Can't count on the 1 second over. Exactly. So I still haven't finished Owl. I'm probably 1,000 words from doing so. You gotta get this done, Chad. We all want to read this thing. 33 seconds in a row. Exactly. What the hell you waiting for, Chad? Anxiety over finishing? It isn't 33 seconds total over the course of the whole stream. No, it's Charlie. 33 seconds per ad. So you'll probably be finished with it today, Chad. Excellent. I told you all I was going to binge this weekend, and I did. All right, but now it's Monday. That weekend is over. All right, you got to get down. I got shit to do. Get down. Jump. Jump. Jump, little one. Jump. You can't sit on my belly like this. I mean, you can because I'm fat. Don't be digging into my Henry Rollins shirt. Come on. Thank you. Goodness. Hair all over me. I think she drooled on me. Oh, Fiverr order's ready. So I can maybe. Why do you give me a zip file? I hate zip files. Zip files are stupid. I'll give you a zip file. Which one's the new one now? I'll zip load your face. I don't know what that means. Where's the download? Why can't I download this thing? Hmm. This is annoying. Why do you do this? Just send me the freaking file. Why you got to do it this way? Here's a zip file with everything. I don't want everything. I just want the two you promised me. Because guess what? I have no idea how to do. Where's the download on this thing? Because people always say things like that, but you actually did it. I look forward to reading it soon. How soon? Should be out in June, I'm guessing. I like your old man angry at everything shtiktala. Fi was probably too big for the interwebs to handle. No, it's not. It's literally like two megs. It's actually not even. It's 892 kilobytes. That's not too big. It's 822 kibasis. You tell me that's too many kibasis? All right, I think I figured it out. Somebody translate what Frank just wrote for me. Meg 2 was not good. What? Are you going to compare it to Meg 1? Because then it was just as good. If you're going to compare it to all shark movies, then no, it was not good. Shh. You compare it to Meg Ryan? Perfect. I'm going to give him a $10 tip. No, you're not going to give him a $15 tip because he just did 3 book covers for me. you do a $15 tip and they charge you a $4.33 service fee. Remember when Fiverr used to be, it was $5? Now Fiverr is $8.78. But yeah, literally I've been using this guy to do my box sets for like 10 years. Can you believe they used Godzilla's bones to build Mecha Godzilla? What were they thinking? I know that was the wrong move. Try so I had fun with Meg 2. I'm not arguing that was good though. I just enjoyed it. I liked what I read of the Meg book series as well. I never read any of the books, and it was the movies were just mindless fun. Nick says breaking news number 8 this weekend. Deep Water for the win. Number 8. I went to a school with a girl, Chrissy. I've told this story before, but a couple of years, like Frank and Nick, I don't think we're on. And the other on Friday night, she posted a picture. I mean, I literally went from like kindergarten all the way to graduating with her. And she posted, "Oh, my uncle is an executive producer on this movie, and they flew the whole family out to Los Angeles for the world premiere on Friday tonight." And there's a picture of her with her uncle. And apparently her uncle is Gene Simmons of Kiss. I had no idea. And everybody immediately was like, "Is this Chrissy? Is this real? Like, this is literally your uncle?" She's like, "Yeah." Like, how come we grew up with nobody knew? She's like, "We didn't really want to talk about it. Like, we didn't want to bring it up or anything. It was kind of a family thing." And he didn't want, he wanted to be able to visit the family in Belford and not have all that. So apparently, whenever Kiss was in town playing like the Meadowlands Arena or stuff like that, he would come by and visit the family. I have no idea the actual relationship. She said uncle. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I had no idea. I would have tried to sleep with her when we were kids, Would anyone else like to see Armand shaking his fist at the computer? I do these things. Charlie says, "Do it, Haas." Charlie's a little instigator. Redo the last 33 seconds. I had an ad. Who's doing your book covers, Armand? I have a so this is not book cover. These are just the 3D box set book covers. So I just use Fiverr for that because this dude's been doing it for like 10 years for me, and he does a pretty good job. He asks for fonts and all that, and he's quick. He just did all 3 of them for me like in 5 days. Again, it costs $8.78 a cover, so I'm not really going too nuts. And I know he doesn't use AI. He says it on his thing, no AI, and he's been again 10 years. He's done pretty much. He's done. I think he's done. Yeah, he is. He has. He's done all of my box set covers. But the next book I have out is in June Mammoth, so they'll do the that, and then the third and final book of the Black trilogy. Matt Wildeston will do the cover, and then he'll do all the trilogy, the white ones. He'll do covers for that. That's all I have listed. And the ones, the short story collection ones, I just do those myself. I basically just take a 8x11 sheet of white paper, and I put the picture, and I just kind of play with it and put all the little magnets and whatnot on it. So I do those. I just do those myself. I don't care. You are an instigator. Meg was actually a book. It was a whole series, Lorraine. I read the first three and not sure how many there are. They're just goofy fun like the movies. Chad says, redo the last 7 seconds. You better be 33 seconds, Chad. Shaking my fists. So now I guess I can do now I got to format the box set. Seems like a lot of work. I'll do that tonight, and then we'll put the book up tomorrow. So I always thought when I've done box set covers with this guy that he had to send them to me. So really, when I paid for them, then the watermark for Fiverr goes away, which makes sense. But you think they would have told you that? I didn't remember that part, or they changed it or something. I would imagine they would have to read that way, having a difficult time picturing what would go between the repetitive shark bites. So can we skip after Charlie? You know the rules. I think I have a lot to do today. Oh, holy crap! We got like 10 minutes or so left. I didn't realize how late it was. Doing all this writing, constant writing like this, you don't realize how time flies. Or just talking. You weren't kidding with that instigator stuff, huh? It's always the quiet, always. Always. I'm going to get more writing in today, though, I swear. Frankly, I just watched 32 seconds of an ad. Do you think it'll be okay? Technically, it will. But damn it, just do 33 seconds. You guys are just being mean now. You know what? You guys are just being mean. I had a bad book signing on Saturday, and now you guys are just being mean to me. I'm only quiet until I get to know someone. You guys are my only friends. That's the way I feel too. It's literally this group of people and Amanda once a month comes over. Although I do get to hang out with several Mikes and Win, but I don't know. It was like 32.3. You're stressing me out, Frank. You're just stressing me out. Quiet as in stoic face with a lot of wheels turning, waiting for just the right moment to interject something. Yeah. Haas knows. It's one of those. I feel like I have a lot to do today, and I don't know if I want to do all this. They gave me tuna salad, not chicken salad. I love tuna. I hate chicken salad. Yeah, tuna salad's delicious. To interject something funny or mind blowing, Charlie. You know what? Funny would be better than mean. Wait, who told Charlie I was his friend? Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I was thinking too, Keith. Like, wow, I like how Charlie just assumes that you actually even like him. If you heard all the stuff Charlie's been saying to his wife at night, I hear it. I want to thank everybody for hitting the subscribe button. I want to thank everybody for watching all my videos. I want to thank the people who watched 33 seconds of the ads before hitting the skip button. I don't want to thank the people who do it in 31.2237 seconds. Charlie says, you hear it, huh? Notice he said, you guys are being mean. Guys, not me. No, Lorraine, you're not mean. And please don't be mean. That would really ruin everything. If you, of all people, started to get mean like me, then I'd be like, what's Lorraine? One of my ex-wives? I think she's nice in the beginning, and then she's just a mean person. Tonight, we might have me and my wife are going to do a TV series review of this season of Night Agent. And she also has a couple of other ideas for me that we might be recording as well. So, I just realized today was Monday. Duh, I was supposed to do Twitch as well. All right, let's start over. No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, do I have enough time? Well, I guess I will have enough time. See, yesterday we could have hung out, Chad, since I blew doing 2 hours on here. I could have done it on StreamYard. Oh, well. Oh, we notice. TV review of Knight Rider, you say? You wish. That's for the paid. That's for the people who pay. That's not a free one. Why would I give that away for free? That's what I should do. I was trying to figure out what I should do on the paid side. That should be it. Reviews of classic shows like that. Everybody likes Charlie. TV review of Forever Night. Yeah, that's also going to be on the paid side. You know what I've seen a lot lately in thriller books? Detectives or cops. I just saw like 3 in a row. Detectives or cops and their father, it's usually a female cop or a female detective or FBI agent, and their father was the worst serial killer ever. Like, really, that's every single book has to have this now? You're going to review the A-Team too, right? Or was that Everybody Loves Raymond? I would review Everybody Loves Raymond because I've seen all the episodes. I have never seen an episode of A-Team, and I'm proud of that. Although there's a lot of shows I've never seen that we could have another. We'll probably have another conversation about that tomorrow. Somebody bring this up tomorrow. I get a free paid account. Why is that? I'm not doing. I'm blocking that. You're going to pay. It's $100 a minute, or maybe less than that. I don't know what it does. Lisa and I just started rewatching Miami Vice. Never saw it. Never saw Miami Vice. I've only seen the A-Team movie. Every clip I've seen of the show does not look good. Yeah, I agree with that, Charlie. You take that back, Charlie. I've seen that a little too, Armand. Could be all inspired from the daughter of the BTK killer releasing a book. Yeah, but that was a couple 3 years ago. It's not like it just came out. I love it when a plan comes together. Please do the A-Team. Why don't you watch the A-Team and do a video? Chad was recently watching my advice. Of course Chad was. That seems like something Chad would watch. I can't take it back. If it helps, the movie wasn't very good either. How can you not like the A-Team? Easy. It looks, even growing up when I was like, this looks dumb. And then I'm going to be honest with you. In school, right? I think I was in school when that came out. When the hell did that come out? Let's look up the A-Team. Yeah, 83 to 87. So I was in junior high and then high school when that was out. And I'm just going to say this, all of the stupid kids watched the A-Team and talked about it all the time. And I'm like, why? I don't want to watch that because I don't like these people. These people are dumb. All the dumb jocks and all those people watched the A-Team and thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, no thanks. Which is probably why I never watched. I'm going to throw this out there, and people are going to be mad. Never watched the Dukes of Hazzard. I've seen maybe 3 episodes in my entire life. Growing up, never watched it. Troy says, I like Miami Vice. Here's the problem with Miami Vice for me as a kid. My cousin Angela was a huge, and she was like, oh my God, this is the episode of The Doors. I'm like, so you're excited because of the music they're going to play in it? What about the show itself? She's like, yeah, I mean, the show's good, but I mean, they always play really good music. I'm like, that sounds dumb. The movie version of the A-Team was terrible, Charlie. Stick with the series. Haas says the movie stunk. The show was awesome. Aren't they redoing Miami Vice now, right? Didn't I just see that not too long ago? They have 2 people who look nothing really like them. They're rebooting Miami Vice now. Let's look that up. Yep, Miami Vice 85. Planned for an August 6, 2027 release. The film stars Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler as Rico Tubbs and Sonny Crockett. I guess it's the guy who played Elvis and Michael B. Jordan, who's been on a bunch of crap. So I guess it's going to be a movie. Set in the mid-1980s, heavily inspired by the pilot episode and first season of the original NBC series. The project aims to revive the franchise over 2 decades after the 2006 film adaptation, with a focus on the style and fashion of the original era. I missed a lot of you. You guys have been talking like crazy. Kia says, we watched the first 2 episodes last night. Lisa has been jonesing. Had you guys seen it before? When I was a kid, it was anyway. All we know about Miami Vice is Don Johnson lost his virginity to his babysitter. That information was garnered from Teen Beat. Tries to like Magnum P.I. a good bit, but not that remake one, right? I hope. My mother-in-law, she'll put like Magnum P.I. or something on during the day. She has dementia, and she just watches. Because she, in her mind, she's never seen this episode before. And then whenever my wife's over there, she's like, well, at least we got to watch Magnum P.I. today. Instead of like some, The Rookie or Castle or something. Chez, it's my theory anyway. 3 years ago, she puts that book out. That people get inspired, take a year to write their books, take another year for the publisher to put it out. It adds up. You can't deny. I can't say yes or no either way. It makes sense that at least somebody looked at that and said, "Oh, let's do this." I don't believe she was an FBI agent though, but I get what you're saying. Frank says 83. Look, Frank already know. He knows. Ray says, I'm finally going to look up what jonesing means. Be right back. We're using a lot of words that Lorraine has never heard of growing up. Frank loved the A-Team. Haas says, hey, I was 8 years old at the time. The A-Team was cool. Not so much now. Frank loved Dukes of Hazzard. Not loved Dukes of Hazzard. Key says, I want a pet alligator named Elvis. I think that has a reference to something. I don't know. Chess says, I recently watched the A-Team for the first time, and it was hard to watch. You can spray 2,000 bullets at people, and not a single one will hit. Nobody dies in the A-Team. Charlie says, I didn't watch any of it as a kid, but have watched Miami Vice and Magnum PI as an adult and like both. No interest in the 18. Lorraine says, Dukes of Hazzard was my backyard, Frankie. Those were her cousins. Bo and Luke Duke were her cousins. Charlie says, I like Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler okay, so hopefully it's good. Hopefully. Every cool animal has to be named Elvis. If Lorraine wasn't in right now, I would say something. But she's a lady, and I'm not going to say that. How many times are they going to reboot a show that could only ever have worked in the cocaine-soaked 80s? Exactly. They're out of ideas, Frank, that's why. All those shows seemed great then, like Knight Rider, but they haven't aged well. They're cheesy now, yeah. Lisa and I have seen Miami Vice, but not together. But that's the thing that's going to solidify your relationship. No, not the remake Magnum PI, the original. How about MacGyver? I never watched MacGyver either. Haas says no. MacGyver was a good one, Lorraine says. Lorraine, did you hang with Daisy in the Jeep? Chad says, I'm out of here. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for popping in, Chad. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Hopefully. I'm also going to be out of here, people. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for watching the ads. Thanks for being my friend. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone. Everybody coming to MondoCon, I sent you an email this week. Or last week. One of these weeks. So do me a favor and answer it. So long, everybody. I learned a lot from you guys. Now I know a new one. Thanks for bringing me up to speed. Thanks for trying to keep along with all this craziness. Starsky and Hutch. Yes, I watched Starsky and Hutch. Big fan of Starsky and Hutch as a kid. Oh, I answered it. That's a total chat. Oh, 100%. Yeah, oh, definitely. Bring it up tomorrow. All right, everybody. I will see you later.